want you to think of something that you've had to do for work that is just so repetitive, it's mind-numbing. The kind of task that it takes hours, it's gruesome, and you can literally you're just imagining anything else you could be doing with your time. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about an example of a task that I uncovered in an organization that I'm a part of, and how we automated that task to earn us hours and hours back. And so for this example, I am the president of the American Advertising Federation of Greater Rochester. It is a regional organization. It's part of a much larger organization. And what we do is each year we host this large awards show. And as part of the show, we invite agencies, in-house marketers, freelancers, students to submit work. And then we have a judging process that selects the best of that work. And then we host this large awards show. 200, 300, 400 people come out and we celebrate that work and we give the awards to the best work. And as part of that awards show, we create a showbook. And in the showbook has slides for each of the winning work as well as the work that has been submitted, with hundreds of names of creatives, of agencies, of clients, of students, of advisors, screenshots of the work and images. And it's hundreds of pages long. It's a huge digital showbook. Used to be printed. And every year when we host this show, the team spends hours and hours and hours creating this showbook. And of course, me being me, coming in and seeing how much of a task this is to create, identified a way to automate a significant portion of it. And the way I see it is each one of these pages likely takes an estimate of maybe 5 minutes to create. And the last I checked, we had 300 pages. So if you take 5 minutes, multiply it by 300, you get 1,500 minutes divided by 60. That's about 25 hours of work. And the process that I introduced reduced that to hours or even less. And so what I'm going to show you today is the specific example that I'm talking through, the process that I took to automate that process, and then the actual tools I used. And not saying that you're going to go ahead and create a showbook yourself, but I'm hoping this serves as an example of the things that in your own work and in the projects that you work on, what are the tasks that are just leaking and are just, the more you work, the more it adds up, and it's gruesome. It's work that you don't enjoy doing. And my hope is that by taking this same process, you could earn hours, weeks back into your life to do the work that matters. So I'm excited to walk through this with you. So let's jump into it. All right, so here we are in my copy of the showbook. It's important to note that there's no sensitive information here. I've scrubbed it all and replaced it with some dummy information for the purpose of our demo. And this showbook has traditionally been in PowerPoint. I brought it in Google Slides so that the team could make some edits and changes to the showbook. And we have all of our slides. These are all of our title slides, and then our detail slides that have all that information in them. So we have our primary title slide. We have some introductory slides for myself and our board. And then there is just some wonderfully designed slides. Shout out to Maria from Renato Studio for really helping us out with our showbook and some work for the show. All of her work is in here. And these are essentially slides that go in between our detail slides. So if you scroll all the way down to this slide, this is an example of what a detailed slide would look like. And we actually have this text information from Google, but in the background we have some pre-designed formatted slides. And these have different layouts for the screenshots or photos of the work that will be on the right. And these have different titles for the different kinds of work that is in the show. So we'll go maybe to like silver for our example. And so you're probably wondering, how do we get our actual information here into these kind of slides, right? That's our goal. And we have hundreds of these kind of slides, so we need to do it efficiently. So what we've done is we've taken the format of these slides, but we've turned them into templates. So here is the same slide, but for title, we have title. And we have those in brackets, and that's going to signify to our system that those are not static information, but it's dynamic information. We've done that for title, for agency, for client, and we've done that for all of these names and roles, all the way so that each listing can have up to 20 individuals associated with that piece of work. And so we have a template slide, and I've right-clicked it here, and what we do is we say skip slide. Currently it is skipped. And what that means is if we were to download or share this presentation, it's not going to share our skipped slide because it's a template. So I'm going to delete our one here. So we have all of our slides, and then we have this template slide. Next, I'm going to show you that we have an Airtable base. And Airtable is a tool that I use. It's very similar to like a spreadsheet, but has a lot more advanced functionality with it. And so I took only the relevant data from that, really complex Excel file, brought that into Airtable. Right here I have 10 dumb information, no sensitive information here, but just 10 records, then bring in 300 for our example. And it's important to share that I name these identically to our placeholders in Google so that we know that which each of these columns is: title, agency, client, name one, role one, name two, role two, and made sure that these are all similar. And so the question is here, now how do we get this information over to Google Slides? The other additional tool that I want to share with you today is called Make. Make is like an if this then that type tool. So if you're familiar with Zapier, very similar. We're going to say that if we do something in Airtable, then we're going to create a new slide in Google Sheets. So in Make, I have my scenario pulled up here that I built, and I'm going to include all the links to these in the show notes. So if you want to play around with maybe like a more sanitized version of our showbook, this Make scenario, the Airtable base, you can go ahead and do so. But let me walk you through what our Make scenario looks like. It says when something happens, so for us it's a webhook. It's important to note that you could do an Airtable like get records step or watch records. Right here I'm using a webhook. Then we get the record from Airtable, we go and we say create a slide from Google Slides. And then this final module is just in case anything breaks, it's going to try again. So we'll create this from scratch in just a moment, but let's go ahead and try to fire. This is my trigger here. It's going to fire off an automation, and it's going to perform an activity here in Make. You can see it literally just happened. We go over to our showbook. We have a new slide with that data. And I simplified this for our purposes, but my Excel file had zeros for the blank spaces. So in my scenario, I made sure that these didn't appear. So let's try to make this from scratch. How do we do this in Make? Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete this information. So we only have our webhook. For you, this could be like a watch Airtable records step. So for me in Airtable, I have an automation that says when that checkbox is checked, it's going to run a script. This is something that you could ask ChatGPT for. Just say I want to fire a webhook from Airtable and make sure I have my record ID here. And then this URL is the thing that matters. This URL is what I have here in Make. If you were to do a watch record step, you don't have to do this at all. This is maybe a little bit more of an advanced use case. So when that's checked, it's going to fire off this webhook. We're going to click the plus sign to add a module. We are going to get a record. We're going to choose the Airtable base. This is my Airtable base I'm using. And mine's called like Demo Awards Showbook. And we're going to get the only table that's there. We're going to get the ID from our webhook. Next, we're going to add another module. We're going to go to Google Slides. We are going to create a slide from a template slide. And then this is similar to like going through your Google Drive and finding the folder, but we're going to say by dropdown, we're going to go into our drive and we're just going to find that file and follow the folder structure. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to video 7 and I'm going to get my slide. Now, any of those template slides that we skip that has those variables are going to pop up in this next one. And I only have one. It's on page 29. It's the only one that shows up. And then what we need to do is we need to fill out all of these values with the values from Airtable. So we have title, right? We have agency. You can kind of search for these. I'm not going to go through this all, but let's say I'll do the first few. So for example, I'm just going to put role 2. I'm just going to copy and paste this for our remainder of our things. You might say, hey, wow, that seems like a lot of work. I'm going to say creating 360 slides is a lot of work. So essentially what we're saying is we're going to match these columns with their values, and we're going to do this once, and we don't have to do it again. It's important to share that if you make a mistake here, you're going to make 360 mistakes. So definitely go back through and check your work to make sure that you've matched up the right columns with the right values. I like triple check this so I didn't make a mistake on every single slide, right? Lastly, what I do is I right click and I'm going to add an error handler, meaning if something goes wrong, I just want to try again, right? Number of attempts, 3. We'll say maybe 5 minutes between each attempt. And then if you're actually trying to do this, one setting I had to do was sequential processing, meaning when one thing comes through the system, we don't want anything else to come through until that one has been done, and it'll do it in sequence. So we click save, and then we go ahead and try to run another one through. It should be successful. So I just clicked the check mark. That's our trigger for this scenario. And then it's going to go through their system. Boom, create a new slide. There we go. Here's our new slide. And obviously it has all of my data because I just put through the same name for every single thing. So one thing that I did that was unique is I didn't want to go ahead and click the checkbox every single time for 360 records. So I had made a script. This was ChatGPT. I said I want to create a script. Here's the name of my sheet. It was called Sheet 1. And here's my name of my view. It's called All. And it's just going to check every single box. So check, 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 check. It's going to go through all. Make is just going to go ahead and sequentially create each one of these slides. This is actually really fun to watch, knowing that that's just 5 minutes every time it runs through the scenario that you would have spent doing it. Now every 3 seconds, a slide is being created. And then in our showbook, these slides are being populated here. It's just amazing. And so this was a use case for me. Hopefully this brings up something for you that you could automate so that literally you can look and watch this sequentially do the same activity that you would have done repetitively. And hopefully it keeps you from wanting to smash your head against the computer next time you do a task similar to this. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you can see how this process saved hours for our team, who for our organization is volunteering their time. And so now they can reinvest that time into more higher level tasks or can simply have more hours back in their week. My favorite part is probably that it didn't just save hours this year, but potentially could save that time year over year and have those hours time saving compound. So hopefully you found this video valuable and helpful. If you enjoy these videos, I'd love to invite you to like this, share it with a friend or a coworker or a boss. And I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel so you see more videos like this. So I'll see you in the next one.